Brodus Clay is your winner, and The Miz is nowhere closer to being anything relevant than he ever was before. But the good news for Miz is that he's still a WWE superstar, living the dream, doing what he loves to do for a living, and he's working on national television pay-per-view in front of the world. So don't cry too much for this guy. I think he's having fun. And really, that's really all it's going to be about. And I think he'll get his shot. Ultimately, he'll be brought back up at some point. He just has to weather the storm. Time to see what he's made of. Maybe that's the thought going on WWE Creative. Can't say for sure. Again, just one guy's opinion. The Intercontinental Championship. As we said earlier, Christian did win the Battle Royale for the title shot, and we thought it was going to be Santino, but the last minute, Cody is ripping on Christian a little bit backstage. Christian hears it, and then next thing you know, Bob's your uncle. Christian gets the championship match for the Intercontinental title, for which he goes over. So your winner and new Intercontinental champion is Christian. Christian is now evidently babyface again. And really, we were talking about his gimmick earlier, his character. For me, Daniel Bryan has sort of fit into that mold now of being that lovable heel. That cocky, arrogant heel that you don't want to pull for, but there's something about him you just can't help it, right? I don't know if there was room for both those guys on Friday Night SmackDown, so I guess the time had come for Christian to turn face again. Again, cool with me. I see no problem with that at all. He won't be getting a title match anytime soon, I don't think, because Sheamus is still the world champion. But we'll see how it goes. I think when Christian's time is up, that my guess is that he will end as a face. I could be wrong. And there's nothing really to suggest that his time's winding down, but one has to wonder how much more matches, how many more matches he has left, or how many more matches he thinks he has. He's already held the world title. So, you would say that maybe he's achieved everything already. Again, we'll have to wait and see. That brings us to the WWE Championship, and this was a good one. This is why you paid your money to see the pay-per-view in the first place. Daniel Bryan taking on WWE Champion CM Punk. Punk had a great little promo before the match saying that 10 years ago, if you told Vince McMahon that these two guys would be working each other for the WWE Championship in one of his pay-per-views, he would have asked, "Who are you talking about?" A great point. But that is the beauty of this business. And for anyone who's ever criticized Vince McMahon and ripped that company for doing the wrong thing, for putting the wrong guys in the wrong spots, you're right. Can't defend it. But they have their moments of doing the right thing and doing it very well, and doing it much better than anyone else ever could. Putting CM Punk and Daniel Bryan in the main event for the WWE Championship, absolutely the right move. Because never forget, there is a huge segment of the audience that still wants the wrestling. If not for us, if not for this segment of the fans, I don't know how much longer this could last, to be quite honest. The pyro, the storylines, the characters, the wardrobe, the makeup, the rehearsed promos, a lot of the stuff that does it add to it? Of course it does, but for a guy that's been in the business before, and I can kind of see through some of that stuff, I just sort of do this and not, okay, that's cute. Let's get to the match. Let me see the guy work. And as long as there's fans out there like me, Punk versus Bryan is always going to be a big deal. And this was no exception. This was awesome. Great match. The ending was a little screwy, but it leaves the door wide open for a rematch. I think these guys are going to work a fairly long program. A lot of folks thought maybe this was a one and done, that Daniel Bryan was going to be filler. Where does this stuff come from, man? Seriously, I mean, they just started. Give them a chance to flesh this thing out. I really believe they will. So I don't think this thing is over by a long shot. But your winner is still WWE Champion CM Punk. Very cool indeed. Then we come to the match that everyone has been anticipating. The match that everyone's been waiting for. Been talking about it for weeks now. The Showdown. Are you ready? Wait for it. Camacho versus Ryback. I don't even know where to. I don't even know how to. I don't think I've got anything for this. Goldberg came out did his thing, threw Camacho away. Did I say Goldberg? Ryback came out and did his thing. So rehearsed, wasn't it? You get the point though. The crowd chants Goldberg every time this kid's in the ring, and WWE knows. They know it. They know that they're not deaf. They hear it. Why do they keep putting Ryback in the ring? Because this is what he does. They've put him back. They've put him in this character. This is what he's running right now. What are they supposed to do? Go take him and put him in a pair of overalls and call him hillbilly and change it up? No. This is what he's going to do. This is what they're going to stick with. Put him out there. He's either eventually going to grow on you, or you're going to continue to hate him and continue to laugh at him. One of the two is going to happen. Knowing the WWE, knowing the way Vince operates, he's going to eventually grow on you. Case in point, Demolition. I know there's a lot of die-hard Demolition fans out there, but make no mistake about it. Demolition was there because Vince could not get the Legion of Doom. Period. So once they got the Road Warriors, didn't really have any more need for Demolition. They still existed, but it was nowhere near what it used to be. Okay? Does that mean that they're going to go try to get Goldberg again? Of course not. But Demolition got over eventually because they got better as a tag team, because they kind of grew on fans. I think Ryback will begin to grow on the crowd. The WWE universe, as it were, will begin to become attached to this guy, and it'll all be good. It'll work. But who knows? Anyway, just as a side note, Camacho, the son of the Barbarian, very cool. I've met Barb and been around him in a couple of different shows in the past. Great guy to talk to. Backstage, very humble, very down to earth. Remember we had him up for a couple of different shows for a promotion that I worked in and wrote storylines for, and he was ready, willing, and able to do the job to our guy that night. And I remember us having a conversation with him and the statement being made: "You're the Barbarian. Please, you're not losing. Not tonight. Sorry, not happening." So very humble. The guy just wants to give back, which is what he's been doing for years. So anyway, Camacho, his kid's in great shape, and I hope that it works out in WWE with him. I really do. I think he's got a future. We'll see. We'll see how that whole thing plays out. Coming down to the wire now. And this is the last match, so hence the folding of my cheat sheet. Johnny Ace versus John Cena. For all you wrestling purists out there, again, guys like myself who love the wrestling part of it, this is where you and I are going to disagree. You're extremely ticked off right now. You're calling this thing a travesty. You're calling it a huge joke of epic proportions. This was not a wrestling match. This was not this. This was not that. Let's everyone take a breath. Calm down. Compose yourselves. John Cena did the best he could with what he had. That's all I got for you. He did the best he could with what he had. He went out there and he took a match that he knew was probably going to stink up the place. No offense to Laurinaitis, but he hasn't wrestled in the ring full time in a long time. And all he had to do was just get thrown around. What could he do, to be honest? What was he supposed to do? Come out and have a catch-as-catch-can, a classic give and go? Please, okay? It's not going to happen. You couldn't do that if you tried. You're going to make Cena look small by comparison. You can't have Laurinaitis be able to stand toe-to-toe with him. It's not going to happen because he's playing the wimp executive. He has to play that role. There's just not a whole lot of choice. That's the corner they've painted him in. He has to be in that corner. I mean, he didn't go get jacked up like Vince and show up, rippled muscles and everything. It's not going to happen. And even if he had, Vince still looked like he could barely move in the ring. God bless him. The match was good in terms of being entertaining. It's WWE, folks. Let go of all the wrestling purist stuff at moments. Accept it for what it is. You cannot change that company. You can't revert it. You can't change it to Jim Crockett Promotions. Never going to happen. Okay? Again, Cena did the best he could with what he had. He made it entertaining. Gave something for the fans to laugh at, to have fun with, and really, what else are you going to do? That's all that matters. Fans got something out of it. May not have loved everything they saw, but he did the best he could with what he had. That's all I got for you. The match ended in a screw job like we all pretty much assumed it would. Big Show, who is not technically a WWE superstar anymore because he was fired by John Laurinaitis, and yes, that'll be the last time I use quotes in the air. Screwed Cena out of the win. Your winner, John Laurinaitis. Cena has been defeated by The Rock, Lord Tensai, and John Laurinaitis. I don't even know how to compare that to anything. That's like, well, I've got nothing for you. That's odd, and it's bad. But it's John Cena, man. He's the king. No one's going to be able to touch him. All this is happening for a reason. Not sure what it is, but they'll come up with something. If they haven't figured it out by now, they'll figure it out, because they're smart, or they just tend to fly by the seat of their pants. Either way, that's it. That's Over the Limit 2012. That's WWE. I'm Tom Clark. Be sure to check me out on BleacherReport.com on the WWE page. I'm there every day, 7 days a week, live in living color. And tune in next time for another thrilling, exciting, dynamic episode of the OGO. I'm going to try to work on these graphics and make this stuff cool to look at. Maybe next time we can have some dancing chicks or something in the background. Keep you entertained. That's it. That's all I've got. Remember, if you don't like this, it's cool with me, man. After all, this is just one guy's opinion. I'm out.